Hey guys. So today I wanted to talk about my ballet journey. I want to say I am first off so incredibly grateful for the support you guys have given me, sharing my stories as a ballet dancer and sharing my good and bad experiences doing ballet because being a black ballet dancer, especially a male black ballet dancer, is a very unique experience, and there are things that I've experienced that I don't think are okay, and I want to share that to hopefully uplift the next generation of dancers. So I'm so glad that you guys are so supportive of that, and you guys support me talking about ballet and my experience because it's my passion. It's something I love, and it's something that I want to keep on sharing and spreading, and I'm just so happy that you guys are receiving it so well. It makes me so happy. But I want to break things down really quickly. I want to tell you guys how I got into ballet. I've been getting so many DMs being like, what's your story? How did you get into ballet? Like, how did this all happen? So I'm going to share that with you guys today. So I remember it was December. I was 15 years old. It was my freshman year of high school, and my mom took me to see the Nutcracker. She had never really taken me to see the Nutcracker before, but she was like, hey, I got a couple tickets. You want to come with me? And I was like, sure. Prior to this, I was a super big theater kid, and I had done other forms of dance other than ballet, so I was very interested in dance and in theater. And so of course, when my mom was like, do you want to go see the Nutcracker? I was like, duh, who doesn't want to see the Nutcracker? So I went with her, and guys, I freaking fell in love with ballet in that moment. It was just like, I could not turn away from the stage. I was just like, I literally looked over at my mom and I was like, this is what I freaking want to do with my life. Like, it was like one of those moments that you only see in the movies, where it was just like, I felt like my life's like purpose and vision was like in front of my face, and I was like, I have to do this. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna figure it out. So we ended up contacting a bunch of ballet schools in my area, and I'm from Orlando, so we ended up going to a school called Orlando Ballet School, and they just had me do a placement audition. So if you do not know anything about ballet, a placement audition is basically where they have you like come in and like they just assess kind of where you're at, so they know what level to place you at, whether you're a beginner, you're intermediate, you're advanced. And also the school I was at, Orlando Ballet School, they had like different, how do I say, like different like classes or levels depending on your skill set. Again, most kids that do ballet, and especially most people that end up doing ballet professionally, have been training since they were like 5, 6, 7 years old. And of course, here I am walking into this ballet studio at 15 years old with no ballet training, being like, sign me up. So I did a placement audition, and again, I want to say I did have some prior dance experience, but not ballet. But guys, leading up to this audition, I practiced like a mofo. Okay. Okay. I was on YouTube looking up tutorials, like basic tutorials for like bar. Like, I was doing all of that. And so when I got to the audition, I really applied everything I had learned, and I did a pretty good job. Again, for never dancing ballet, I was able to keep up with the other kids in the class. Of course, the audition finished. I wasn't really sure how I did. So I went home, and my mom ended up getting a phone call, and they wanted to offer me a full scholarship to go train at the ballet school. And I was just like, I was so shocked. I was like, what? There's no way. Like, I thought I did good, but not that good. So that's how my ballet journey started. I started training extremely intensely. I think that was around January of, what year was that? It was probably January of 2019, January of 2019. And so I went into a level that was a little lower than me. So I was like 15 years old in classes with like 13, 14-year-olds. So not so much younger, but it was a little bit of a lower level because they wanted to get me some foundational training. And I was training 6 days a week, super intense. And every summer after that, I did the whole entire summer intensive. Guys, I was working my body. I had never worked harder in my life to catch up, but because I loved ballet so much, I was like, I don't care how many hours I have to put in the studio. I don't care how much work I have to do. I'm going to put in as much work as possible so I can catch up with my peers and be on the same level as my peers that have been training since they were 5, 6, 7 years old. And I did just that. I trained my life out. Like, my life became revolved around dance. I was so obsessed. And my life became revolved around ballet. I was always training. I worked so hard. I would do 8-week summer intensives in between school. Like I worked so hard. Like my life became ballet. Like in high school, I would leave school in high school and I would get on the Sunrail, which is like the Florida subway, and I would take the Sunrail all the way down to Orlando to go training for the whole entire day. So I would get out of class in high school probably around like 2 p.m. 2:30, I forgot. Like it's been a while. It's only been 4 years, but it's been a while. But I would get out of high school at like 2:30, and I would rush over to ballet, and I would be there until like 11 p.m. at night. Like again, I was committed. Ballet became my life. And so that was kind of the rest of my freshman year of high school and sophomore year. Then going into junior year, they offered me a very interesting proposition. I had caught up so much to the point that they wanted to actually make me a trainee, so I'm gonna explain what a trainee is. So I was just taking kind of regular level classes, meaning I was like taking classes essentially during the school year as just like a student, as if somebody who would play baseball or basketball would play with their school during the year. Like I was doing that. But basically being a trainee is like moving me up to kind of like the pre-professional league or like the travel league. Like I wasn't gonna just be training after school like a few days a week. They wanted me to train 5 days a week during the day and like start competing. So I of course had to pick between having a high school experience and training ballet pretty much full time, which was super hard for me because I had just taken on a presidential role for a club on my school campus. So it's like I kind of have to be at school to be the president of this club, but I also want to follow my dreams and like be a ballet dancer. So it was super hard to kind of pick between which world I wanted to go into. So I picked being a pre-professional ballet trainee. And so what that meant is I was a part-time student at my high school. So I still went to high school, but I would leave every single day around 11 a.m. and then I would head straight to ballet, and I would be at ballet till around 6 p.m. So I would wake up for high school at like 6 a.m. I would take classes up until around 11 a.m. and I would go straight to the train station, take the train station into Orlando, and from like noon up until 6 p.m. every single day, 5 days a week, I was training ballet intensely. And again, these kids were a different league. Like these were trainee kids. These kids, ballet was their life. Like they didn't even do part-time school. A lot of these kids did full-on virtual school and were training ballet 5-6 days a week. And I was kind of like the only one who still did some high school. Like all these kids, ballet was their life. YAGP, the ballet competition they competed. Like ballet was their life. They didn't even go to school. They had no high school experience, and I was like the one who was like still trying to go to high school. So I started doing like some competition stuff. I was training so intensely, and it consumed my life. It became my life. And so then of course, this is my junior year of high school. So as the thought of college started coming up and what I wanted to do for college, I was like, I want to go to college for ballet. I want to use my ballet experience to go to college in New York City. It was always my dream to be a ballet dancer in New York City. So I was like, I'm going to use, my skills to get there. So in the next video, I'll talk about how I got a ballet scholarship to college and how I ended up in New York City, which is where I am now, going to NYU. So that will be in the next video. So stay tuned. So at this point, I'm thinking about where I want to go for college, what I want to even do in college. I wasn't really sure, but I knew that I loved ballet and I wanted to potentially parlay ballet into my college experience. So when I found out that you could actually go to school for dance, I was like, sign me up. I knew it was something I would love and I wanted to do it. I wanted to move to New York City and have the dance experience. So I applied to all colleges for dance, and I ended up going to a school dance. I was really, really in love with the Ailey BFA Fordham program. So Alvin Ailey had a program at Fordham that I was really into, but it just didn't work out for me. I actually ended up going to a school called Marymount Manhattan College because they gave me a ballet scholarship and I couldn't reject the offer, and it was my dream come true. So my freshman year of college, I packed up my bags and I moved to New York City for college, for ballet. And it was a lot. Again, like I was in school, of course, I was in college, but majority of my classes were around dance. So I was taking some gen ed, if you call it, like I was taking some English, some math, but like again, at least 85% of the classes I took were dance. So all day I was dancing, and on top of that, we had like showcases, so we had tons of rehearsals. It was like dance became my life. And I don't want to ever call out whether I experienced racial discrimination from a specific ballet school, because even though I did train in Orlando and I also trained at this college in New York, I also did tons of summer intensives. I did Alvin Ailey, I did I think New York City Ballet, I did Joffrey Ballet School. I did a ton of ballet intensive, so I've really actually had a lot of different experiences. So again, I don't want to ever pinpoint where I had negative experiences because I just don't feel like dealing with that. Like I'm still just opening up about my story. But I have of course started to receive like negative comments like the ones that you guys have seen me post regarding my race and my hair and me just doing ballet. And it kind of started to make me almost like in a way fall out of love with ballet because even though ballet was something I loved so much, I was experiencing so much discrimination and negativity from teachers and other students that I was just like, is this something I really want to do? And I feel like when you're at that age, when you're 18, 19 years old in college, you're really just figuring out not only who you are, but what you want to do with your life. So I think I just had a lot of things swirling in my head. And I ended up deciding I wanted to transfer schools. So I transferred to NYU my sophomore year of college, which I was super excited to get in. And I went into NYU school called Gallatin. So basically what Gallatin is, it's a school where you create your own major. So I made my major kind of like a mixture between like dance and journalism and business. So when I transferred to NYU, I was still taking ballet classes, but it also gave me the opportunity to explore other things I wanted to do other than just dance because I wasn't just doing dance. I was also stimulating my brain by doing journalism and business and other things that I also found super, super interesting. And so that was kind of what I did, obviously my sophomore year and junior year, which is where I am now. I'm going into my senior year now. So that's kind of what I've been doing. And so I think exploring other things really allowed me to expand my mind and expand what I want to do in the future. I still have an unwavering love for ballet, which is why I'm still training, and ballet is still a huge part of my life, and ballet will never not be a huge part of my life. Again, I started a ballet nonprofit called Brown Boy Ballet to help young men of color in ballet. I've done tons of advocacy work for ballet. I've worked with organizations like the Ford Foundation. I've been able to meet Misty Copeland, who had heard about my advocacy work and was so complimentary of me. I also was able to work with a nonprofit called Ballet and Beyond here in Manhattan that helps. They give free ballet training to underprivileged kids in the city, and I was able to work with them for my freshman year and my sophomore year of college. And I want to continue the advocacy work, and I've now moved that advocacy work to social media, to TikTok, because here is the biggest audience where I can help and reach the most people. So if you get anything from my story, and again, my story's not done, but if you get anything from my story, if you are a black boy out there who wants to do dance or ballet, you can do it. There are so many resources out there for you that helped me along my journey. And if I can do anything with my time here on social media, I want to inspire people to follow their dreams. If you are black out there and you want to be a ballet dancer, look at me. You can do it. It's possible. Don't ever let anybody discourage you. Don't ever let anything anybody says make you feel down or make you feel like you're not worthy or you're not good enough, because I promise you are, and they are just insecure or intimidated. So please follow your dreams. I'm so happy I did, and I'm so happy I can now use the platform I've been given by you guys on social media to talk about my experience in ballet and hopefully uplift the next generation of ballet dancers. So thank you guys for listening to this really long story, and I hope you guys now know a little more about my journey in ballet. Bye!